Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about Splatter at Sea presents EELS by Judith Sonnet. This is part of one of Judith Sonnet's 10-day challenges. This is going to be pretty short video, much like the book. So first of all, 10-day challenge. This is the third time Judith Sonnet has done it. She and some of her writer friends have 10 days to write, edit, format, do everything, and get the book out for sale. That's it. 10 days. And so because of that, I cut some folks a little slack. If maybe the presentation isn't perfect, it usually is pretty good. Pretty darn good. But anyway, 10-day challenge. Always a fan. But eels, that's what we're talking about here. And basically, killer eels. What else is there to know? What do you need to know other than killer eels? That's all I need to know. Regular viewers know my favorite subgenre of horror, killer animals. But basically what we have is these twin brothers who live in this spring break town. They're townies. And it's spring break is over. They're relaxing on the beach, and they meet a couple of girls who haven't quite left yet, having been there for spring break, and some shit's gonna go down. It's called EELS. I told you it's about killer eels. But there are some twists and turns going on. There's more to it than just killer eels. So Judith Sonnet, best known as the Queen of Extreme, she's been called, but she's not going to be pigeonholed. She's not going to be put in a box. She does other stuff too, and this is great creature feature with strong writing and very interesting ideas. One of her strengths, I think I've mentioned this in every video where I've discussed any of her books. One of her strengths is her characters. And this book takes the time to develop the characters and sort of develop the world that they're in, who they are, why we should care about them. Meanwhile, we get a little bit of a tease in the middle of this character development before the shit hits the fan. And she doesn't just go with straight killer eels. There's something more going on, and it's good writing, it's good characters, it's a nice twist on the killer animal subgenre of horror. Excuse me. And I very, very much enjoyed this. I forgot to do the too long didn't watch thing. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I had a lot of fun with this book. And as I said, I enjoy what Judith Sonnet's able to do in these 10-day challenges. I don't know what else to say about this. It's well written. It's fun. It does get gory, but it's not the extreme over-the-top stuff. Possibly, depending on who you are, offensive stuff that she does on occasion. It's just good, clean, wholesome family fun. That's Splatter at Sea presents EELS by Judith Sonnet. Very, very short, as I said. My question for the video: what is your preferred length of book to read? So I'm leaving out like short story collections. Just do you prefer novels over novellas, or vice versa? Or do you prefer even a novelette, which is basically just a really long short story published by itself? Do you prefer a massive tome, like Stephen King's It or The Stand? Or do you like a nice trim 250 to 300 page novel? As for me, I don't really have a preference. The reason I read this, and if you follow along every video, you're going to see the rest of these books in this particular 10-day challenge. The reason I read these was because I was running out of books to review as far as what I had read. If I wasn't doing this now, I wouldn't have anything for a video 2 days from now to post. Um, so I like having a novella when I want to read something quick so I can get a video done. That's not the greatest excuse. I don't buy novellas just so I can have something quick to read. Um, and I tend to save a giant tome like It or The Stand when I have a bunch of books under my belt already with reviews that I haven't posted yet, because it gives me time to read those. I have to be in the mood to read something that long, typically. So for me, I would probably say my sweet spot is that 250 to 300 page size. There's a lot of novellas that I would love to have seen expanded. They don't necessarily have to be. I mean, the author's telling the story in the page count that they think it needs. But as the reader, sometimes you want to spend more time with the characters. You maybe want to see the world more developed. And a nice 250, 300 page novel, if it's well written, it always comes down to if it's well written with good characters and all that stuff. But a nice 250 to 300 page book just hits the sweet spot for me. Again, if it's well written, if it has good characters, if it's holding my interest, it's always going to come down to that. But what about you? Do you have a preferred length to the stuff that you read? I know some people that just like to read giant books, and some people, excuse me, who prefer the shorter stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. And if you care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronan5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K. ERIKSMITH 5757. On Blue Sky, I am @EELS Smith. That's all I've got for you. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.